Einen wunderschönen guten Abend. Heute am Dienstagabend. Es ist mal wieder Zeit für die Apex Racing Online Racing Jungs und alles dazwischen, außerhalb und drunter drüber, und ihr wisst, was ich meine. So, wonderful evening and a warm welcome to everyone who's not speaking German. Also, I hope you speak English, so if not, you might have a problem. So, one of these two languages you need to at least understand. So, and now we have, I would say, normal conditions, or not conditions, but normal result on the first side. We have Jared in front of Martin, and since 2 weeks ago these are the two leaders again of the season number 7 here at the Crossplay GT3 Championship season 7. We have Jared in the lead, although he had a disconnect in Great Britain, and so Martin was able to get his first victory of the season in race 4, or on race day 4, let's say it like this, and he's now with 255 points, 45 points behind Jared. And Jared stays at 300 points, and we have Dorian Castelli 5 points behind Martin with 250 points on P3 in the overall standing, and Toby with 205 points, 10 points ahead from Victor Hammerlund, and so Toby on P4 and Victor on P5. Then we have Chris Eger-Drynkjanen, the fast Estonian driver, with 177 points, 18 points behind Victor. Then we have the German driver, Fabian Radek, in front of Paul Wiedler. And then we have Daniel Kemendi, the first silver driver, on P9. So, and here we have Vermeulen in front of Hyans, and I think it's Dave Urban, or is it, isn't it? Just wait, I will take a look. Yeah, it's Dave Urban, one of the Hungarian driver, on P3 in front of Eric Stander. And then we have Toby in front of Victor. Then we have Fabian, and Dorian only on P8 at the moment, in front of Fernandez, which is Eugenio or Eugenio, I think, I don't know, Fernandez, the Spanish driver, who is on P9 in front of Paul. So, at least an interesting result for the training session. So let's see what happens during the qualification.
Green line. Give it all you got.
And let's see who is part of this race too. We have Robert Smith, Laszlo Mihaly, then Roland Jordan. Oh, and then we have a new driver, I think. Miras Leift? I don't know. So let's see, I will search for the driver to tell you something more about this silver rating BMW. Okay, it's Mr. S. Lift, I think. Yeah, it's a Welsh driver, I think. Yeah. Oh, and it's Devil's Armpit. I think we already know this driver. No. What? Didn't we know someone who is called Devil's Armpit? I'm really unsure. Then we have Adam Chobor and Norbert Overy. Then Scott McCallum, one of the Scottish driver. Joel Barabas, the next Hungarian driver in the GTR. I think it's season 2 or it may be 2, but I think already season 3 that we have this car and the guy in the car taking part of this championship. And then we have Chris Egert Rünkjanen, the Estonian Mustang driver. Then we have the current leader of the silver rating, Daniel Kemendi. Here comes Paul, one of the British driver. Here we have Daniel Sutenbier, and it's his, not only his but also Martin's and so on, home GP, cause it's the GP of Netherlands. Then we have Lachko. I'm not sure. Just wait. About the first name. It's Zabolc Lachko. And then we have Lloyd Chapman. And here we have Atti Klaassen, the second South African driver after Jared Vermeulen. And then we have, I'm sure it's the second French driver, Amizano Ronny. Then the next Dutch driver, Jeffrey van Buren, Stephen Sandham, then Eugenio Fernandez, and here we have the other French driver, Dorian Castelli. Yeah, but some drivers we are missing. Oh, and here, by the way, it's Mr. S. Lived. Yeah, so where is Stephen Archibald? Oh, here we have Stephen. So we just missed Stephen. No, here we have the other Scottish driver together with Scott McCallum. I think it was McCallum. Where? Ah, yeah, he's right in front of Stephen. Here we have Victor Hammerlund, one of the Swedish drivers. But he is... No, he's... Yeah, he's the platinum driver on P5 at the moment. And here we have Oscar. And he's currently on P15. And he's at the moment the third silver driver on P11, right behind Daniel Kemendi and Misha Huitzing. And then we have Danny Schutenbier on P12. But at the moment we have Danny in front of the silver grid on P10, right in front of Kendall Slater. And we have Jared in front of Martin, and then we have Victor on P3, which means he will, or he is currently attacking Toby for the 4th place, just 10 points behind Toby. And then we have Chris Egert, who is right behind Victor in the raw all standing, who is behind Victor and in front of Toby too. Then we have Eric Stander in front of Fabian, and he's right at the same position which he have in the overall standing at the moment. No, now he's losing one position. 2 positions, cause we have Dave and Eugenio Fernandez. So Dave Urban and Eugenio Fernandez in front of, for example, Toby, who's now back on P7. We have the Spanish Ferrari right behind Jared and Martin. The 2 teammates. Oh, and Dorian now on P3. So we have at the moment the same top 3 as in the overall standing, and then we have Eugenio, and Fabian in the AMG or in the Mercedes on P5 in front of Victor and Chris Egert. Then we have Dave and Toby only on P9 in front of Eric Stander and Paul Fiedler. And then we have the American Mustang with Robert Smith. And Norbert Overy at the moment the fastest silver rating driver or silver grid. And where is Daniel? Let's search for the current leader of the silver rating. He's only on P24, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is P8 in the silver rating. Yeah, and again, the Spanish driver a little bit faster than the French driver. So Dorian back on P4 and Eugenio less than half of a second behind Martin and Jared. So it's only a little bit more than 1/10 of a second, which is between Martin and Eugenio, and 2/100ths of a second between Dorian and Dave. Oh, and Toby now on P6 in front of Stander and Radek and Rynkianen and Hammerlund. So at least he's in front of the drivers behind him. But now it will be hard for Chris Egert and also and really hard for Victor to stay on P5. Oh, and now Stander in front of Dorian on P4. And then we have Dave and Toby in front of Radek, Rynkianen and Hammerlund. So the top 10 now: Vermeulen, Jurjans, Fernandez, Stander, Castelli, then Urban and Blades, Radek, Rynkianen and Hammerlund. And then we have Wiedler, Van Buren and Robert Smith. And then we have 3 silver rating drivers: Overy, Sutenbier and Chapman in front of Stephen Sandham. And then Mr. S. Lift Latchko, Frisk and Jordan. Then Amizanu, Ronnie and Adam Chobor in front of Kendall Slater, Daniel Kemendi, Scholt Barabas, Atti Klaassen, Mac Matz, the Polish driver. And then we have Stephen Archibald, Laszlo Mihaly and Scott McCallum on P29, 30 and 31. And Laszlo and Scott still no fastest lap, but already in the pits, so I don't know if they were out of the pits. And here a little accident by McMatz. And Martin in the pits and still outside our championship leader and the leader of the current qualifying. Which is Jared Vermeulen, one of two South African drivers here in the Crossplay Championship by ApexOnlineRacing. The other one is Atti, who is currently where is Atti Klaassen? Oh, and he's currently P27 between Scholt Barabas and McMatz. Oh, and Dorian still on P5 behind Fernandez and Stander, but also in the pits. Then we have Dave and Toby. Yeah, only P7, but in front of Rügjanen and Hammerlund. So now you can choose. Is it a good news or is it bad news? Yeah, but Fabian only half of a tenth. No, it's 700ths of a second behind Toby, so a little bit more than half of a tenth. And let's see if the German driver is able to overtake the Dutch driver on his own home track. And I try to see the East Sea. Is it East Sea? I don't know. In German it's Ostsee. Or is it the Baltic Sea? I don't know. I think it's... I don't know. So, and now last option for Fabian to overtake Toby, but he stays behind Toby. Then we have Paul, who finished at P11, and Adam Chobor jumps up to P12. And Latchko, at the moment, the fastest silver driver. 3 places in front of Norbert Overy. Here we have the Spanish driver, who tries to get in front of Martin. But I think this battle will will be win, I don't know, by the Dutch driver. So it's 1.2 tenths of a second between Fernandez and Huyans. So let's see. Stander on P4, Castelli on P5 already in the pits. Then we have Dave Urban on P6. Let's see if... So no change by Fernandez, who celebrates his qualification. Really interesting. Then we have Dave in the pits. Also Toby done with his qualification. And so everyone in the top 10 is still done with his tries or in the pits. But Norbert on track. So let's see, it's not only Norbert, I think also... Oh no, it was one of the Mustangs. So, and Norbert stays on P16. So, and this brings us to our starting formation. So we have Jared in the lead, followed by Martin Huyans. Then Eugenio Fernandez, the Spanish driver, on P3 in front of Eric Stander. I think it's the fastest Hungarian driver today. Then Dorian Castelli and Dave Urban in front of Toby Blades and Fabian Radek. Then we have Chris Egert Rünkianen and Viktor Hammerlund. And on P11 and P12 the next two platinum drivers, Paul Wiedler and Adam Chobor. And on P13 we have the first silver driver, Lachko, side by side with Jeffrey Van Buren. And then the American driver on P15, Robert Smith, and the second silver driver, Norbert Overy. Then Danish Sutenbier and Stephen Sandham, one silver, one platinum driver, Oscar Frisk and Lloyd Chapman, P19 and P20, Daniel Kamendi and Mr. S-Lift on P21 and P22. Then we have Amizanu Ronny only on P23 and Roland Jordan, Kendall Slater and Jord Barabas. Then Mac Matz and Atti Klaassen, Stephen Archibald on P29 and Laszlo Mihaly, and last but not least Scott McCallum, the second Scottish driver, right behind his fellow countrymen. So we do a little commercial break so I can take a little breath, and then we see each other in a minute for our introduction lap and 1 hour of finest race action. So see you soon. Or hear you soon. So, and now I think everyone is back from our little commercial break, and I really don't know who was the driver of the day 2 weeks ago. So let's
30 seconds.
I really don't.
20 seconds.
Oh, it's Amizanu Ronny. Oh, and this
10 seconds.
this is currently P23. When this is really far behind, I would like to tell you something about the track. And normally, since 2 races, we are doing this with our last driver of the day, but maybe it's a little bit too far behind. So we are starting with Tarzanbocht. So let's see how far we can go. And then we have Gerlachbocht, the first left and right, so the first chicane. And after this we have Hugenholzbocht, this really sharp left turn. And then we have the next right turn, Hunsrück, who's really good to drive in dry conditions, but which is really hard at rainy conditions. Then we have turn 5, and now we are in turn 6, or going up to turn 6. Slotemakerbocht. Thus goes into Scheivlak. Turn 7. And now we are in Mastersbocht. And then we have Bocht 9 and Bocht 10, and now I would like to jump up to one of the first drivers, to be honest, because they are already coming into Hans Ernst Bocht, turn 11 and 12. Sorry for leaving our last driver of the day, but we are going into the last 2 corners. And these are Kumho Bocht, which is in front of us. And then we have turn 14, Arie Lüendick Bocht. So, and we are going up to P5 and watching the start. And now fingers crossed for a good start and not the big mess in Tarzanbocht in turn 1. So everyone is on track, and now fingers crossed for a clean first lap. Oh, and this was the end of the first clean lap, and I think it was, yeah, it's Dorian, and I think Stander. And let's see if someone else was part of this crash. I think it's Stander. No, it's not Stander. Oh, and then it's Dave Urban, yeah. So it was the French and the Hungarian driver. Oh, and here the next problems. And who is this? Or who was this? Oh, and it looks like Radek was also one. No. Yeah, he was also part. And Robert Smith. This was the Mustang who was turned around in turn 3 or 4, maybe. Und hallo Magic Waldini, einen wunderschönen guten Abend auch an dich. So, and now let's take a look of the field after the first crash. We have Jared in the lead, followed by Martin Hürjans. We have the Spanish driver on P3, followed by Stander. And Toby now on P5, followed by Rünkjanen and Hammerlund. And then we have Paul P8, Adam Jopor on P9, and already in the top 10, the first silver driver, Lachko, followed by Jeffrey van Buren, and then Daniel Kemendi, who had a fantastic start. Oh my goodness, coming from I think P8 or P9 of the silver rating drivers, and it's now on on the second place in his rating between Van Buren and Sandham, two platinum drivers. And then we have Norbert Overy, and he is fighting against Lloyd Chapman, and this is a fight between two silver drivers, and I think now Lloyd in front of, this is really German, in front of Norbert, the Hungarian driver. Yeah, interesting situation here at the moment, and Amisano Ronny is still on P18, but still worth Castelli, Radek, Urban, and where is... and Smith, of course. And Radek still fighting against Jordan, the Hungarian BMW driver. Castelli already in front of the number 973. And Toby with two Mustangs behind, really under pressure, tries to stay behind Stander, the first Hungarian driver of the field, or in the field. The second one is Adam on P9, and I think also Lachko is one of the many Hungarian drivers here at the Apex Online Racing Championship. Let's see. Yeah. Lachko, Chobor, Stander. Yeah. Yeah, but Stander, after he changed his car, only on P46 in the overall standing. So he's just fighting for races, not for the current championship, maybe next season. But with only 12 points, which is... No. Did he have 12 points? No, I think... No, it's number 12. So 0 points at the moment. So 300 points after or behind Jared. I think it will be hard to do something against the other drivers. And after this race we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 races left. So it might be hard to fight for the championship for him. And Toby is getting closer, and Stander is losing contact to Fernandez. And by the way, Fernandez more than 2 seconds behind Hürjans, and also Hürjans more than 2 seconds behind his teammate, behind Jared Vermeulen. So let's hope that nothing stupid happens like last race when Jared lost connection to the race. To say it like this. Oh, and let's go right behind Schobor. but also really close in front of Jeffrey, but more than 2 seconds behind Lloyd. Oh, and Lloyd Chapman at the moment P2 in the... Oh, and I think we have a big problem from Sutenbier, who lost a lot of positions, now behind Atti Klaassen and right in front of Scott McCallum. And also Norbert, only on P4 in the silver rating. Oh, and what was this? Amisano hits Kemendi. Why? Oh, and also Kemendi lost a lot of positions. But what was this? I think the other way would be faster. Whoops. Oh, there Daniel lost at least one position. In the next position. So Daniel with some big problems. Oh, and the car behind Amisano lost the track. And nice switchback tries here from Amisano. Okay, interesting. I thought we were at the end of... So now he's right behind Kemendi. Okay, no problem in this position, but here. Okay. Okay, 50-50 I would say. Sorry for this long replay. Ach, come on. So, and still Jared in the lead, followed by Martin and Eugenio or Eugenio. And then we have Stander, followed by Toby Blades. Then we have Chris Egert and Victor Hammerlund, not Hummerland, Hammerlund. And then we have Paul Wiedler and Adam Chobor and Lachko. Sorry, but I'm not able to to say this first name in a right way. It's Zabolch, I hope. Or maybe Zabolch? I don't know, so I even don't try it. And here we have Amiza Nouroni and Dorian Castelli, the two French drivers, right behind each other. Oh, and a little drift from Dorian. And then we have Norbert, followed by Kendall. So Norbert now on the 3rd position of the silver rating again. Oh, and Chris Egert is losing against Toby. A little bit more than a second between the Ferrari and the Mustang. And now Toby a little bit more than a second behind Standal and less than a second in front of his former teammate. Yeah, Jared, more than 3 seconds in front of Martin. Martin a little bit less than 4 seconds in front of Fernandez. And then we have Stander, Blades, Gründjanen, Hammerlund. And then we have a gap from 8 seconds up to Paul. And then we have Paul in front of Adam Chobor, Zaboch, Lachko and Lloyd Chapman. And then we have Steven Sandham in front of Jeffrey, Big Jeff van Buren. And right behind these two we have the first of the 2 French drivers. And this is Amizan on P14 at the moment, followed by Dorian Castelli. This looks really aggressive here from the number 6. Whoa. Crazy. So a little contact between Van Buren and Sandham, and this could Amizanu use to overtake Jeffrey, and I think also Dorian now in front of Big Jeff. Yeah. So lost 2 positions against the 2 French drivers. And now we have the fight between Sandham, Castelli and Ronnie. Oh, this is really close, my goodness. Not really good for my nerves. I almost can smell the contact. The question is who hits, who's getting hitten by who. And now the fight between the two French drivers. And Dorian now in front of Amisano. Again, in front of. And now Dorian right behind Steven Sandham. By the way, Toby only 7/10 of a second behind Stander, but 2.2 seconds in front of Chris Egert. Oh, and now we have the attack by Dorian, and Amisano is trying also to get in front of Sandham, but he isn't able. But now with a little push, but this cost him also at least one position, and Jeffrey is saying thank you. And now we have Dorian on at P12, Jeffrey P13, and then we have Ronnie and Sandham followed by Overy. And Overy is watching all this platinum fights and is saying, okay, good that I'm behind these guys and only on silver rating. And here we have Stander against Fernandez and Blades. But at the moment it's more Fernandez against Blades than against no, it's not Fernandez against Blades, it's Stander against Blades, then Fernandez against Stander. And Chobor still right behind Wittler. And Hammerlund is fighting against the other Mustang. So it's a little bit like we have some order. So here we have, oh no, we have the third Mustang on P3, so I forgot. But for example, we have all the BMWs together. Without Latchko, I know. Then we have here two Mustangs, here two Mustangs. Oh, it looks like someone did a good job. So, and maybe we will have the next fight for the lead of the silver rating in this race. Because Lloyd is getting closer to Latchko, so Chapman against Latchko. Now 8/10 of a second. Oh, and what happens to... Oh! Oh, what happens to Dorian? Dorian off track. No more Dorian on track. And so we have Jeffrey on P12, right in front of Amisano Ronnie. and Standard fighting against Fernandez. So, and Sandham is in for his mandatory pit stop. Oh, and Toby right behind both of them. So it's Ferrari against McLaren against Ferrari. Whoa! What a fantastic reaction by Toby. I'm really sure that this was closer than he would like to have it. Whew. So... Whew. I think this is the definition of what we are calling a Code Brown situation. But good work from Toby to avoid this crash. Whew. And we have Chapman against Letchko for the lead in the silver rating. Less than a second between these two drivers. And again, Standard against Fernandez. Yeah, and also Van Buren against Ronnie. Oh, and I think Van Buren with a little mistake. I hope it was a mistake by himself. Ah, yes. Ah, okay. This was only Jared's fault. Nein, nicht doch wieder in die Wiederholung. Ach Bernd, jetzt hast du mich so abgelenkt. Ja Bernd, dann sollten wir dringend nochmal Streckenkunde betreiben. Also wenn du dachtest, das ist Suzuka. Oh, und... What's this? Jeff in the pits. I hope this is his mandatory pit stop and not that he was jumping into the pits. So, and here we have Jared still in the lead. 7 seconds in front of his teammate Martin Hürjans, who is more than 6 seconds in front of Fernandez. And he is still fighting against Eric Stander. And then we have Toby on P5, again more than 2 seconds in front of Chris Egert-Rüdianen. Ich hab's ja gemerkt. Ja, herzlichen Glückwunsch. Abgesehen davon steht es in der Stream-Beschreibung, aber verraten wir keinen. Yeah, but someone jumped into the pits. Oh, and I think it was... Yeah, it's one of the Scottish driver. It's Scott McCallum. And Jeffrey is back on track on P21. Let's see how far behind Steven Sandham. It's a little bit more than 7 seconds between Big Jeff and Steven Sandham. And Stander next to Fernandez. Oh, and I think Toby with the next little mistake. Du meinst, hier oben steht so klein. Ja, das stimmt. Hier oben auch nochmal, das stimmt. Aber ich meine auch in der Stream-Beschreibung, da müsste es doch hochstehen. Wenn ich mich nicht irre. Oder ist es da auch so klein? Dann brauchst du ein größeres Endgerät. So. Now we have the... Oh, and what was this? This is a really bad pit stop by one of the Mustangs. But who is it? Is it Robert? No. Robert is on track. Was it Robert? No. Was it Oscar? No. Then maybe it is Scott, but why he is... Okay. Interesting. He was driving forward and backwards in the pits. Interesting. And Toby also in the pits. And now behind Atti. I think in front of the Aston. Oh, not only in... No, sorry. Yeah, he's right in front of the Aston and behind... Not behind Roland, but behind Atti. Yeah, but with a little space. 5 seconds behind Atti. So, and now we have the pit stop by our two leading cars. Oh, and here we have the fight between Fernandez and Stander. And Stander was attacking the Spanish driver. So, but these are good news for example, Toby, because if they two are fighting all the time, they are really slower than they could go normally. So let's see if this was enough time, or maybe at first we have to look if they are coming in for their mandatory stops in this lap, or if they stay outside. Well, if they are staying, I don't know. And they didn't stop. Went again. So the first corner is really McLaren. Aerial. Oh, but... Ooh, really far outside. Here. Through... Hugenholzbocht. And so he's losing momentum against Fernandez. But really an interesting battle between Fernandez and Stander. But I'm not sure if it's good for them. So at least it's interesting for us to watch this fight. And to be honest, I don't understand why none of them is coming in for his pit stop. At least Stander with the option to set the undercut against Fernandez. Okay, and now we have the pit stop by both of them. My goodness. This was really close 2 times. Oh no, and I think it was not only... Oh, and what was this? Fernandez left the race. But why? What happens in the pit entrance between Stander and... So let's take a look for number 12, sorry. Oh no. Oh, here we have number 12. Oh no, and we... Yeah, we see him, okay. So, just wait. Did they hit each other? He hits the wall. Oh, and I think he was too fast. So he might get a 30-second penalty. Wahrscheinlich hat er jetzt gemerkt, dass es nicht Suzuka ist. Ah, fantastisch. So, and yeah. The good news for Toby. This brings Toby up to P3. And I think he... Also ich glaube einfach, der war so schnell, hat einfach tatsächlich nicht gecheckt, dass der Boxenlimiter ja direkt gleich da am Anfang gesetzt werden muss. Und wusste, okay, jetzt gibt's hier eine 30 Sekunden Stop-and-Go-Strafe und dann hat er wahrscheinlich da vor lauter Frust die Reißleine gezogen. So, and now we have the fight between Stander and the other Ferrari. In this case, it's Toby Blades. So let's see if Toby is able to stay in front of the Hungarian McLaren driver. And at the moment, on the first place, we have Victor, one of our Swedish drivers. But only till this moment, cause he's coming in for his pit stop. And so we have Jared back on top of the race. Or on top of the field, let's say it like this. And here we have Jared. Let's see how far he is away from Martin. It's 8.8 seconds. Then we have the Polish driver coming into the pits too. So I think these are the last two drivers who need to do their mandatory stop. And then we have Toby on P3. But only 1.9 seconds in front of Standard. And then we have Rünkjanen. And where is Hammerlund? Yeah, we have Hammerlund right behind Rünkjanen on P7. And then we have Paul P8, followed by Lloyd Chapman P9. And Latchko P10, so Lloyd now with the lead of the silver rating field. Then we have Amizano Ronny on P11, followed by Chobor. And let's see, where is the Polish driver? Oh, he's also behind Kendall Slater and Stephen Sandham. And let's see if he is... Yeah, he's in front of Jeffrey, so... McMats now right on P14, right in front of Jeffrey. Then we have Jolt Barabas, Mr. S-Lift, I don't know. Then Atti Klaassen and Oscar Frisk. By the way, the second Swedish driver here. Right behind the second South African driver. And then we have Radek, the German driver. Oh, and here we saw some problems from Oscar. Oh, was it Oscar? I'm not sure. No, I think it wasn't Oscar. It was another Mustang. I think it was Scott. Yeah, it was Scott McCallum. And right behind Radek we have our leading car. And then we have Zoetenbier, followed by Smith. Overy. Oh, and Overy lost a lot of positions. Then we have Laszlo Mihaly, followed by Stephen Archibald. And also Daniel Kamandi with a bad race today. Only P26, which is P12. Which is only P13 in the silver rating. Then we have Jordan and McCallum on P27 and P28. Oh, and Standard right behind Toby, so let's see, is Toby able to stay on P3? Two weeks ago it was P6, so let's see. If he's able to stay on one of the podium places. And the next fight is Paul against Latchko. Oh, and Lloyd now P7. 3 places in throw, and here we have some contact between Stunder and Blades. Still 16 minutes to go. And this might be the situation for Eric. Yeah. A little bit too far on the inside, and then he lost control. He could avoid the accident or the crash, but he wasn't able to defend P3 against the McLaren. Okay, the good news is we have 3 different cars on the first 3 places. And now we have Rückjan 3 seconds behind Toby, only 2.6. Yeah, and Paul is losing against Letchko. More than 2 seconds behind P10 at the moment. Rückjan 3.2 seconds behind Toby, but 3.9 seconds in front of Hammerlund, and then we have Chapman on P7, 4.8 seconds in front of Amizan Ronny, who was able to climb up to P8 after a really horrible qualification. I think maybe he's hunting for Driver of the Day titles. So let's see from which place he started. Oh, and it was P23, so 15 places. Crazy. Oh, and Sandham right behind Kendall Slater, the P3 in the silver rating at the moment in this race. And Daniel Kamendi still outside the top 10 in his rating. Yeah, 1.5 seconds between Stander and Toby. Yeah, and more than 10 seconds between Jared and Martin. And more than 17 seconds between Martin and Eric. And Toby still 3.2 seconds in front of Chris Egert. Chris Egert a little bit less than 4 seconds in front of Victor. And then we have Lloyd, who is 6 seconds in front of Ronnie, but 15 seconds behind Hammerlund. But I think P7 is totally fine for Lloyd and P1 in the silver rating. So I think there will be no discussion by Lloyd about this result. I hope maybe he tries to say something, but I think it's totally fine. P7, it's totally okay. And 3 places in front of the second silver driver. And by the way, more than 6 seconds in front of P3 last week. But again, what a race from the French driver. But what's wrong? Or what was wrong with today's qualification? Oh, and Chris Egert is getting closer to Toby. Only 2.5 seconds left. But he's also winning against Victor. 4.9 seconds. So maybe a fantastic lap from the Estonian driver. Oh, a little mistake by Sandham here. Oh, and the next one right after the first one. So I think dirty tires. Ooh. And this was really close between Mats and Sandham. And now we have the fight for P13 between the BMW and the Ferrari. And Toby again 2.9 seconds in front of Chris Egert. Oh, and here the next problem from Sandham, and now he's losing the position and is now on P14. And Jeff right behind him. And Chris Egert again more than 3 seconds in behind Toby and less than 4 seconds against Victor, or in front of Victor. So I think it was really just an amazing lap by by the Estonian driver, or maybe some lapped drivers in front of Victor and Toby at the same time. Yeah, and Jeff is attacking Sandham. Oh, and there was a driver off track, but it wasn't McMutz. Who was it? Maybe it was McCallum again. No, it wasn't McCallum. It wasn't Jordan. And it wasn't Commandy. I don't know who was it. Maybe it was just a little problem of myself. Oh no, I think it was Barabbas. Because he's... No, he's... Yeah, he's right behind Sandham and Jeffrey, so it wasn't Jolt. But we have, I think, Jeffrey right behind these three drivers, so now it's getting interesting. And I hope it's just getting interesting. Oh, and what is this? Oh my goodness. And I think this was Sandham again. Not against. Yeah. So the next big problem for the number 95, and now he's back behind Mr. Slift. So only P17 for Sandham. Oh, and the next one with some problems. Oh, and maybe it was our leading car who was trying a pass to the grass, but not the grass. It was a pass over the gravel. Or it sounds like a pass, try to pass over the gravel. Toby 3.6 seconds behind Stander and only 2 seconds in front of... Again in front of... Was ist denn heute los? What's wrong today? In front of Chris Egert, but only a little bit more than 4 minutes to go. Oh, and only 1.8 seconds between Toby and Chris. So let's take a look for these 2 or let's say 3 drivers together with Victor, who is getting closer to Chris Egert. Also only 2.7 seconds left. Oh, and Kendall against Paul. So Kendall, what is this? Paul on P11. Oh, and Latchko. Latchko only P15. So I think he was the guy with the problem we just saw. Yeah, and big problems. Oh my goodness. Now he's fighting with Mr. S-Lift. And he's losing this fight because of the damage. Oh my goodness. So it looks so good for quite a long time. And by the way, also Jared is losing time, but I think he tries to avoid some problems. Then we have Martin, followed by Eric Stander. Oh, and Toby only 9/10 of a second in front of Chris Egert. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Oh, and Jeff fighting against McMutz. P12 against P13, and Paul fighting against Kendall Slater. The fight for the last top 10 place. And here we have the fight for P4 between Toby and Chris Egert. So, and where is Jared? And is there still one lap to go? I'm not sure. Maybe. Let's see. I think okay. Oh, maybe not.
The leader has finished the race.
Ah, whoa, fantastic job from me. So congratulations to Jared. This was really close. Martin P2. And then we have Eric. And I think it's the first podium for Eric. Let's take a look. Yeah, P5, P6 and P9. And today P3, but like we said, 0 points till this race. And then we have Toby P4 in front of Chris Egert, Victor P6, and then we have Lloyd Chapman as the fastest silver driver today, P7. Congratulations. And also a big congratulations to Amizano Ronnie, starting P23 and finished P8. And then we have Adam Chobor P9 and Paul still defending against the second silver rating driver, against Kendall Slater. But I think Paul... Oh, and now we see why he needs to defend so hard, because of the damage. But Paul stays in front of Kendall, 35 thousandths of a second in front of Kendall, who finished P11. Then we have Big Jeff, Jeffrey van Buren on P12, so he was able to get in front of the Polish BMW. McMutz P13. Then we have Jean Barabas, followed by Mr. S-Lift. Then Lachko on P16, and we need to say only P16. Then Atti Klaassen in front of Oskar Frisk. Only P19 also for the German driver, for Fabian Radek. Norbert Overy also only P20. And then we have Robert Smith, followed by Daniel Schuttenbier, Laszlo Mihaly and Steven Archibald. Daniel Kamendi also far behind, only P25. Then we have Roland Jordan, and then Steven Sandham, Scott McCallum, and then Eugenio Fernandez, Dorian Castelli, Dave Urban, and Driege, who did not finish or didn't even start this race. So, and now I have to tell you some bad news, cause the next race next week I'm not able to broadcast. Because oh God, I just try to figure out what Verein means in English. Yeah, okay. I'm in a club and we are doing holiday camps for kids. Of course, in the holidays, and in Thuringia we have holidays at the moment, and next week we have our holiday camp, and I can't broadcast and do some program for 70 kids at the same time. So I hope they have another broadcaster for the Monza race next week. But we see each other in 2 weeks at Spa. And so, yeah, sorry for this. Yeah, yeah, vacation is a interesting word for. Also wie gesagt, ich arbeite, also ich habe nächste Woche, ich weiß es schon, wir haben nächste Woche 70 Kids, also Urlaub ist übertrieben. Aber wo wir gerade schon dabei sind und schon wieder hier ganz frech ins Deutsche übergewechselt sind, wer Lust und Laune hat, kann mich allerdings morgen und am Freitag nochmal sehen. Denn morgen sind wir bei den Funracern. Da sind wir, wenn ich mich nicht irre, auf bei Kota. Und ich habe keine Ahnung. Ich weiß, wir sind die Woche irgendwann noch in Amerika. Oder sind wir... Nee, wartet mal. Bevor ich hier Blödsinn erzähle. Wir sind... Nee, in Kialami, genau. Und am Freitag... Sind wir dann am Freitag? Sind wir am Freitag bei den Noobs auf Kota? Ja, da sind wir auf Kota, genau. Ich wusste doch, wir sind die Woche noch auf Kota. Sorry for the bad race. I am so sick and no training the last 2 weeks. I grew toss. And I don't know, maybe it's the Spanish driver. Though this will... Oh no, Amisano. So what are you talking about? Yeah, Ronnie. But what are you talking about? Bad race? It was a fantastic race. It was a... Sorry about saying this. It was a horrible qualify. Yeah, you started P23 and finished P8. And you're calling this a bad race? Okay, then I don't want to know... no, I really want to know what you're calling a good race. So I think you might work on your quali work or doing, but not on your racing. The race in Paul Ricard, but this was... When was the race in Paul Ricard? Oh god, it was the second race. Yeah, maybe, but everyone could have a bad day. And Let's see, Misano. I'm not sure. Here you are. Yeah, P11. No. Yeah, P11. It was. I think it's totally okay. So, and let's see what you can do next week. But as I said, I can't see it. So we see each other in Spa. And then, yeah. Sorry for no interview today. I hope that Toby isn't waiting for me. But I'm really tired and I have to get up tomorrow really early for my conditions. And so we just skip the interview and do this after the Spa race. And then let's say good night, maybe till tomorrow. And of course, till in 2 weeks for the Spa race, and I think it will be really interesting. And fingers crossed that the guys find someone who did the Monza stream. And yeah, see you tomorrow if you want. Again, the second time this week at Kyalami. So, good night. Macht's gut, seid lieb zueinander, haltet die Ohren steif. Ich gehe jetzt schlafen. Macht's gut.